Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another exhilarating, enticing, dramatic,
thrilling, salivating, explosive,
sexy, hot, and unique,
pornographic,
and
episode
of Girls Unscripted. My name is Kate.
I'm Carolyn.
And today we are, if you're watching, you'll notice that our background is a little different because we are recording at my house. Today we are recapping Vanderpump Rules Season 1, Episode 6. If your Carolyn's coaster just fell right off of her drink. We made Aperol spritzes in our weekly Gab episode. So if you would like to learn how to make an Aperol spritz, go watch that. That's what we're drinking. It's not the best I've had.
It's 1-1-2. 1 1/4 Aperol, one soda, and then 2 champagne.
Yeah, but I always do a little bit more champagne.
You do as much as you want.
And you're supposed to have an orange. I don't have an orange.
Always just do as much as you want for the champagne. You know what I mean?
Really, I only measured out the Aperol and then I just freeballed the rest. So that's how we're living today. The episode of Vanderpump Rules that we recapped was called Caught with Your Trousers Down.
Wait, but who was caught with their trousers down this episode?
Jax Taylor and Laura-leigh, they were fucking everywhere, dog.
Sorry. I watched.
They were fucking at Surrey, they were fucking at the Chinese restaurant.
A long day. Yes. I'm totally just had a stroke.
No, it's fine. It's honestly, I try to block it out myself.
Yeah, well,
it was a bit much.
It starts the bathroom fetish, which becomes my bathroom fetish.
We've been recording for 2 minutes, and I was wondering how long it was going to take you to mention Jax's bathroom fetish.
Well, he has a thing for bathrooms, as we all know.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about it. That's all I can say about the bathroom fetish.
We've talked about it in past episodes, so we've been doing this long enough now that we do have callbacks.
And he has it in 2 bathrooms this episode.
Yeah.
2 in 1 episode.
Oh, I can't wait to get to that
2 bathrooms, scene. 1 Jax. It is quite remarkable what that man can pull off.
Do you think he's a sex addict?
Yes.
Or do you think he just likes fucking?
The squirrel comment
was a bit much. He said he would fuck a squirrel if it looked at him the wrong way or something.
We always think no, but then we keep hearing about him with new girls all the time. Like, he can't, or it's an emotional thing, like you're kind of saying last week, of like, he just can't be alone.
Yeah, it's probably more what it is. He just can't be alone.
But I also think he just knows he can get it, so he gets it.
And you know what?
Good for him.
It's a man's world.
It's a man's world. That's all we gotta say. You know whose world it's not this episode? Laura-leigh.
Or Stassi.
I was going to say Stassi. Yeah. Both of their
They're kind of having a bad go of it right now.
Yeah. Well, Laura-leigh thinks she's having a great go of it, which is what makes the fall even harder.
Okay, let's talk about it because it was good. It was good. We start off, though, with one of those little, like, beginning montages where they're just, like, flexing on everyone a little bit. Like, we're still in the realm of the show where they're constantly reminding us that these people, they don't want to be servers forever. They want to be actors and singers or whatever. Like, we see Laura-leigh and Kristen running lines. Sheena's in the recording studio. Stassi is styling a shoot for Tina. Jax is modeling. Tom is playing guitar, and Peter is filming his screen. Yeah. And it's like, or filming his screen, screening his film. I love these scenes because it reminds me how quickly we stopped.
Oh, no. You know what I titled this section? Montage of Dreams.
Literally, it is the montage of dreams.
Of dreams that none really came to fruition. I guess you could argue the closest, well, Ariana. But she's not on yet. She wasn't in this montage.
The closest is probably Sheena and Sandoval. Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, he has toured with a band.
And same with Sheena. I mean, she has performed. She's continued to perform.
She gave Andy Cohen 2 different ones.
Yeah, like a gold record or something. Hey, you got to give it to her. So we really start off this episode at Stassi's apartment, and Stassi's queuing up this gossip column that she has at Pandora and Lisa's fashion blog. I also feel like they really
It's not a blog.
Oh, sorry, you're so fucking right.
That's not a fucking blog.
That's what this entire scene was about, and I still called it a blog. Because
Frank had a point.
So
it is a blog.
It is a blog. She was like, it's a column, and he's like, you're literally writing online.
Well, we wouldn't say our friend Sydney's. She works for Entertainment Weekly. That's not a blog.
That's actually so true. She is a journalist.
She's a journalist. I guess there is a distinction. But Stassi's not working at Entertainment Weekly. She was working at a blog.
But I think because in her small little world, Lisa is she's so up here that working for Lisa and Pandora is like fashion column
Yeah.
is more than a blog.
And
you
I
know
bet
what?
she did a good job.
Good for her. She should consider it being more than a blog. You know,
Yeah.
if, like, I would like
If
that
that's
she
what
didn't
you want,
downplay it.
that's
Yeah.
manifestation 101.
So Frank is just like always at Stassi's house now. I
And
guess.
Frank just like always sucks.
This episode
He is the worst.
showed his true colors. He's a fucking douche. And like we knew that, but we've been trying to watch this season kind of like unbiased, as if it's like our first time
Right.
watching through the eyes or
Right?
whatever.
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
And he's been fine to the naked eye, but now I'm like, okay, yeah, you suck.
He just the whole from top to bottom. If I were Stassi, I thought she actually handled it pretty maturely until it got outside into the driveway.
Yeah, that
And
later, right?
then
Yeah.
voices got elevated.
No, she put up with more than she should have with Frank. He's basically in this scene belittling and patronizing her about this blog. He is just your typical douche that thinks he is better than everyone. That was his theme this episode, is he thought he was better than everyone.
And he got on a weird, it was so like mind trippy because then he somehow segued it into Stassi being controlling and asking him to do all these things that he would voluntarily do for her anyway
Right.
and make her feel bad about that.
Right.
Like, what a sick guy.
Like he hung up a pole in her closet and it
You
fell,
would think.
but it fell, and instead of him being like, oh fuck, my bad, he was like, this is your fault, you have too many dresses, you have to
Yes.
get rid of these dresses.
Yes. My point exactly. It's fucked up.
That's the thing about these guys, right? They want a hot girlfriend, but then they bitch about the things that the girl does to be hot. He's bitching about her complaining about breaking a nail, or she has too many dresses, but if she wasn't a certain type of way, he wouldn't even look twice about her.
That's
or to
so
her.
true. That's why I like, oh, this might be controversial.
I feel a little controversial by what I just said as well.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, and I feel like that wasn't bad at all. I was going to say, that's why, like, first dates, I don't mind the guy paying. Because you know how much nails,
It's a common.
lashes,
It's a common consensus
waxes.
amongst women.
Like, I mean,
yeah.
it's just insane what we have to go through to make men happy.
Not only do you go through so much and like the get ready process and all the money on makeup and whatever the fuck, even the men will be like, you don't have to pay for that. It's like,
Yes, you do.
there would not be a first date
Yeah,
if
what
you
would
didn't
you-
see me in the makeup. I'm gonna just say that right now.
I would be tossed.
But another really valid point to your point is also how risky it is for women to even just like leave the house ever.
Yeah.
Like you going on a first date, you're literally putting your life at risk.
That is true.
Because if it's like a blind date, if you never met him, it's whatever. So it's like, that's like another argument for they should pay on the first date. I personally don't really care.
Yeah.
I know times are tough out here. I'll always offer to split it, and I would never be offended if the guy took
See,
me out.
I don't think I would. I
I'm a
know
bit
times have changed.
I should
since I was in
change.
the dating pool.
No, I'm alone in that. I've told my friends
You
that,
know
and
what
they're like,
Stassi would say about it?
what would she say?
Oh, she would say, hell no.
Does Stassi not pay for Jax? Like, did he not live rent free at her house?
Oh, God, good point. Oh, wow.
Stassi would be paying for those
Yeah,
dates.
no, she would. She literally
Which
paid
is
for
crazy.
his house.
Yeah, which is crazy because you wouldn't think that she would. That's why it's funny to me that her and Jax break up and she's still, well, she's 23, but she's still putting up with
So
the
young.
same shit that she hated about Jax. Frank is really no different.
I mean, she didn't know Frank. She knew Frank for 2 days. I mean, she knew him in a work setting
Yeah.
for weeks. And then within like 40 hours, they were in a relationship. I mean, he met her parents.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know it is crazy.
That happened so fast.
I know it is crazy.
But good for Stassi for just locking it down. She knew what she wanted.
Dude,
So she got it.
Yeah. Okay, then we go to Villa Rosa. And this may have been my favorite scene of the episode. Only because
Yeah, I know exactly why you're going to say.
Ken spills the tea again. And we made so much fun of that scene at the end of season 10 of him saying, Tom Sandoval and Raquel
Did
were
you
in
hear?
the jacuzzi or whatever. But in this scene, season 1, episode 6, he says, security walked into the bathroom at Sir Lounge and Jax and laura-leigh were naked on the ground. Like,
And
I
he
don't-
starts with, did you hear the rumor?
And it's making me think maybe that Tom Sandoval and Raquel, and because it wasn't staged.
Oh, God, no. It's making me think the other thing, that Lisa just had him on this shit from the get-go. We're just now noticing those patterns.
Maybe Ken's purpose always was Lisa being like, you know what?
We need you to reveal some stuff for me to be shocked about.
Brain blast, yeah. And she doesn't want to be the one gossiping.
Right.
But if she hears about it, she can't ignore it.
Yeah, it's going to be great for the show.
But you know what? That is a good husband. If I had a husband that just told me gossip on national television, what else do I need?
I know. I mean, I do think they are kind of ship goals in a way.
No, they are. I'm here for them.
They're great.
But what was also so funny was they were at this like meeting with her publicist, I guess, and Ken is like talking about this, and the publicist, who like no one is fucking talking to, goes, "As your publicist, this is a really bad look for you." And I'm like, bitch, you obviously just wanted a line now.
I know. I agree. I feel like the publicist was like, I can add value. I need to add value. I can say, that's not a good look. Like,
right.
What was she... Did they think that would be a good look?
Right.
Like,
it
obviously, it's a bad look.
Yeah, it seemed so dumb. Like, yeah, duh. You're just as bad as fucking Raquel's publicist now.
Yeah, I just have in all caps, Jax loves fucking bathrooms.
Jax loves fucking
He loves fucking bathrooms. He loves fucking in bathrooms.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Big toilet guy.
Big toilet guy.
Big toilet fetish.
We don't have to go there.
Yeah, I mean, I have my theories.
Yeah,
I think it's just like a
same.
public sex thing.
Yeah.
Which, whatever. So then we go to Sir, and Stassi and Sheena are friends now. And they're hamming it up and they're eating.
They're eating their little dinner before their shift.
But then, that little fucking tattletale Kristen Doty straight up snitches on them.
Like out of a preschool class.
You guys already, I'm still on the train of like, they were not good friends to Stassi.
Yeah.
And now Stassi's like grasping to the only person that she has, and Kristen's trying to like break that shit up too. Like, they're eating together.
Yeah.
She's clocked in and they're eating together.
Well, and just the amount of like vitriol on her face is not proportionate to what they were doing.
It's a really like smart sentence you just said.
Really?
Yeah.
Good, because I feel very unsmart today. I feel a little like I'm in the Matrix.
Is it because you're wearing a cheetah print MTV shirt?
Well, I think that was a side effect.
I have a tie-dye MTV shirt. It's that same exact shirt, but
I
it's white. I should have put it on earlier.
Love MTV t-shirts.
Me too. Big
You
MTV
can get it
fan.
with there's so many different options.
Yeah, it's just a cool logo.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
sick.
This is a Bravo podcast right now. But the Bravo logo could be cooler.
Yeah, it's true. It's been the same for a minute.
Well, so is MTV's.
So that's true. It's literally been the exact same. I didn't put this on the sheet even because I was like, Stassi was trying to eat before her shift. It's fine if it's 10 minutes. Like, they just need to, whatever. She did give a little attitude to Peter, which poor Peter.
Poor fucking Peter.
He's doing the best he
Kristen
can.
make it on the sheet for this? Because she snitched.
Oh, God, no, I didn't put her there, but she does need to go.
I'm just saying.
She does need to go.
I could
so
see how
need to
you
put
could
her-
miss that, but she did snitch.
Well, because what I was thinking, I was like, well, to be fair, it'd be like, I would be frustrated at a coworker. I could see a world where I'm just naturally frustrated at a coworker who's not helping me get ready for a busy shift and is eating, talking to someone else. But we know that's not what the underlying motive was here for her to tattletale.
Fair.
It's hard.
There's some work dynamics involved.
There's judgment calls and all of this. But I do think she needs to go on there because, again, it adds to the pattern of like, it just doesn't involve you, Kristen.
Right.
You had nothing to do with this. Except I guess it was her work shift.
Yeah, okay,
Tit
I see
for
both
tat.
sides. But then if Stassi goes in the talking head and she's like, she had like 3 fucking tables to set up. Like, it's really
That's
not.
true.
She said, we really just don't know.
Exactly. And sometimes you just cancel each other out.
So next up, we're at Takami, this Japanese restaurant that Jax and Laura-Leigh are in. And I feel like we just had the most like 2010s scene. It was like, I just feel like they both were treating this as if they were in a movie. I feel like Laura-Leigh is the type to act like her life is a movie, right?
Which makes sense because she's an actor.
Exactly. And do you know she went to Juilliard?
No. I literally paused for like true shock.
No, yeah. I just read an article where, do you know who Gillian Jacobs is? That her
Yes.
name is? She went to Juilliard and graduated a couple years before Laura-Leigh, and one of Laura-Leigh's professors was like, hey, I have this student here, she wants to be in indie movies, would you mind talking to her? I just read this article. Would you mind talking to her? And they like had like a phone conversation. I was like, Laura-Leigh went to Juilliard?
What?
But I don't think she's a bad actor. She's just...
Can you imagine how differently her story could have gone for the audience. Like, this whole time we've been playing her as like the crazy meth addict, but she actually has her ex. Well, once you're an addict, you're always an addict.
Okay, fair.
But once
That's what they say.
we hear about Juilliard, that paints a very different picture than what we've been given.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we meet her being sober for 9 months, which is a hard thing to do.
And we meet her working in a restaurant on a reality show. Like, it's no one's fault.
Yeah, exactly.
But the way that they, like, go in, it's like the music is, like, you know, on, and they're, like, giggling. They're like, tee. She's, like, leading him into the bathroom.
It's so like an indie movie where, like, they're following you, like,
yes,
a shaky thing.
Yes.
And you, like, maybe have had a couple drinks, so it's a little like, what's going on?
It's
Come in here.
dark, and she looks to Jax, and she goes, this is the employee bathroom. And they sneak in, they, like, look behind
and
them.
Goes, what are you doing? This is, what?
Yeah,
and
it was so,
in.
like, a scene from a fucking movie.
I do say the balls to do that purposefully filming while they're filming.
Right, they knew they were being filmed, and then they go in there, and the mics are on, and you can hear them, like, breathing and shit.
You hear all of it. I wonder if they knew she was going to do that. I'm sure they didn't.
Good question.
And what do you think the cameramen did with it?
How would they
feel listening to it? Would they just stand outside the bathroom listening to them having sex until they were done?
Oh.
I guess that's what they had to do. I don't know. Logistics get complicated when you're filming things.
That's true, because I actually think this was the only time in the history of the show where something like this happened. We've never seen someone hook up like that.
Literally,
on camera.
them have sex while their mics were on, kind of through a wall.
Damn, yo. Dude, those sound people know a lot of shit.
They know so much, and they are doing the Lord's work.
Those are really good questions, actually. You know, Laura-Leigh definitely thought this was like some whirlwind romance, right? They're sitting back down at the table, and it's like post-sex, and she's like got hearts in her eyes, and Jax is like, yeah, that sex was fun, and she's like, you're the one.
Yeah,
I'm madly in love with you.
She is crying because Jax is so attractive.
It's really hard to watch, actually.
And that everything she could have wanted in a man is right before her in this Japanese restaurant. And yeah, and cut to Jax's talking head of like, I'm not that into it.
Yeah,
like it's straight up, oh no, Laura-Leigh, no, poor girl.
It is really hard to watch.
It was really hard to watch. She doesn't even know if he's in it 50%. Don't trust men.
Yeah.
Don't trust them.
Yeah. Well, don't trust men like Jax.
Like Jax, exactly.
Or a lot of them. There's,
just
there's
general.
some exceptions.
Just use it as a rule, but then have discretion on who gets it and not.
Then we do like a quick little blip at this cycle house where the Katie and Kristen go and they like do like a cycling class. But this episode is just absolutely killing me because it's like, it's so like, we have to look hot in this town and able to like to get anywhere in this town. So we have to go to all these workout classes. It's like, no one fucking cares. Like you can drop it already. Like, yeah. That was your first and last time at a cycling class, Kristen. You smoke 2 packs a day.
So many cigarettes. And Katie even said, she was like, I'm not coming back to this.
They're not doing that.
Whatever this is, I'm not coming back to it.
But it's funny because so this is queuing up the fact that Stassi is willing to talk to Katie but not Kristen. And Kristen is sad about it. And Kristen says, like, I want to cry every time I think about Stassi. But I'm watching this and I'm like, bitch, you literally just fucking tattletaled on her yesterday. Like, if you're really sad about losing your friend.
Kristen forgot she did that 2 seconds after she did it.
Yeah,
you know, to that was probably just good morning in her book. Like,
right.
She does that shit every day.
That's what she does to the people she loves. You know, you ever meet people like that that are like really mean to their friends and like, well, I'm just mean to the people that like I care about.
Like, you're my sister.
Yeah, I'm like,
you're my sister.
That's some toxic shit.
What I was dying laughing about is that Kristen is like, she is giving no consideration to how Katie's feeling. Like, Katie's upset and like she's going to talk with Stassi. And all Kristen cares about is like, well, why didn't she want to do it with me?
No, you're right.
What about me, though?
I didn't even catch that. Katie is straight up confiding in Kristen, who is essentially her only friend right now. And Kristen couldn't listen to less words.
She could care less about Stassi having a talk with her.
Right.
Which I think is a little Delulu based on their friendships. I don't know.
Wait a second. Kristen Doty Delulu?
No, she is very well put together.
She's very Lulu.
And she's very Lulu.
She's not Delulu, she's just Lulu.
She's Lulu.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, Lululemon. Okay. Then we go to Sir and we have the confrontation with Lisa and Jax and Laura-Leigh. And man, is this just a hilarious showdown of, I know you're lying, so stop. And Jax saying, never.
I literally wrote down, this is not a good example of Laura-Leigh's acting ability. She's like, what? What are you talking about?
We would never. We would literally never.
Where is this coming from?
Oh, where? Here at Sir. Where is this coming from?
Here's where I'm a little confused, where I feel like there's some inconsistencies in the story, though, because Ken claimed that security walked in on them and saw them naked. And by this reaction, they were thinking, maybe we could get out of this. But I think if security literally walked in on them, they would be like, yeah.
Oh, no. See, I think they would still double down.
They were trying to gaslight Lisa. Yeah, you're right.
I think they would double, triple, quadruple down on it. Because they would say, okay, the security guard, we don't know him. He didn't really see anything. Who knows? We can always say that, like, he doesn't know what he was saying. I think that they would still just go with the flow.
Yeah. No, you're probably right.
Their flow of lying.
Because they love to gaslight and manipulate. Well, Jax does, at least.
Yeah. I thought that was so funny. And then Jax's confessional, just like, we did.
Yeah.
We absolutely did.
You just know Lisa's sitting there like she's trying so hard to be mad.
Well, and she said she would fire them if she found out it were true.
Yeah, obviously not. It's ratings gold. She knows that this is perfect for the show.
She loves this.
Laura-Leigh leaves. I mean, obviously Lisa has a weird we've talked about this before. Has like a weird relationship towards the women than the men.
Yeah.
Laura-Leigh leaves and she's like, basically saying she's fragile, blah, 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 whatever. But then makes this comment and says, if I found out this is true, you will be out of here faster than you got into her knickers. Which is a funny line, but it's also basically calling Laura-Leigh a slut.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, bless.
Like, she might as well have said, you'll be out of here faster than, like, she opened her fucking legs for you.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, that was my first
That's a sad
thought.
angle.
But still a good burn.
That's a sad take.
Still a good burn.
Still a good burn. She is good at the quips.
Oh, she is good.
She's got that UK.
Okay, now we're at Stassi's apartment with the talk, which I'm pretty sure Stassi's apartment turned into Lala's apartment, turned into Dana's apartment. I think there's like lore that they all lived in the same apartment.
Shut up.
No, I swear to God. And I tried to look it up online to confirm. Couldn't find it. But I'm pretty sure somewhere in my brain, I know that to be true.
I thought it was cute. The outside looked cute. Spanish style.
Yeah, I feel like it's somewhere in Hollywood. I don't think it's in West Hollywood. I feel like it's or Mid-City.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah.
I don't think many of them live in West Hollywood.
No.
At this time. West Hollywood is not cheap to live in.
It's expensive and none of them have money.
If I met one of them in person, which I have and I haven't thought about this and I fucked up and I should have. The biggest question I want to ask is, did you guys actually live in West Hollywood? I'm pretty sure Katie and
That's your biggest question?
Yes.
Kate, that's such a waste of a question.
As someone who has lived in LA for so long.
What difference does it make?
Because I just need to know, like, it's crazy if you and all your friends live that close to each other in LA. Like, you all live in WeHo.
You wouldn't want to know the dirtiest secret that
But they're not going to tell me that.
Cast.
I'm asking a realistic question.
But and still that?
I think Jax lived in Koreatown. I think Kristen and Tom, that apartment, I feel like there's something in East Hollywood. They went out to eat in East Hollywood this episode. Like, I think there's a lot going down. I think it's separate, and I need to know the truth. I think someone lived in Burbank at some point.
Well, I know.
I don't know why I'm so heated about this.
Jackson Brittany lived at like almost Koreatown.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did tell me that.
Because I looked at one of the buildings that they lived in.
I don't know why it's something I'm so passionate about, but I just feel like, as someone that lives in LA, I don't like being lied to that, like, all of my friends and we'd live in West Hollywood. I'm like, that is not true. And I'm jealous if it is.
I met this girl and she at the Harvard reunion and I just felt so bad for her because she was like, oh, I live in LA. And I was like, oh my God, where do you live? And she was like, I live in Beverly Hills. And I was like, oh, great. Like, where in Beverly Hills? And she was like, just near Beverly Hills. And I was like, I live where? Like, I know Beverly Hills well. And she was like, and she named the building. And I was like, oh, that's not Beverly Hills.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I lived. That's Miracle Mile. And I was like, caught her in the lie.
Or like Pico Robertson, people will say Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
For those of you listening that aren't familiar with LA, it's a big fucking place. I just want to know exactly where everyone lived when they were poor and they were my age living in LA. I just want to know.
I will say when I moved to LA and I was like 23, I wanted to live in West Hollywood.
Oh, I always wanted to live in West Hollywood, but
I was
in
like,
my mind,
it's where the cool kids go.
Yes, I felt the same way because I used to drive through it to get to work. But in my mind, I literally was like, I will never live in West Hollywood. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
Then I did.
Booyah!
Thank you to the pandemic. because places were so cheap to rent.
That's how we got on the beach.
Yeah.
They had like a 2-month off deal. It was amazing. We lived on the beach for less than $3,000.
Damn, that is
It was
awesome.
crazy. And we had it all to ourselves because no one was there. It was COVID. Anyways, this talk between Katie and Stassi makes me double down on what we've been saying about Katie, that we stan her now, because she really, I believe that she's trying to be a good friend to Stassi. And I believe that she wants to make it right with Stassi. And I believe that she's putting in the effort and the communication to try to make that so. Kristen, however, I wouldn't put her in that bucket. But Katie, I'm like, she's always been a loyal bitch.
I couldn't agree with you more. I had the same exact thought. When I watched this scene, I was like, you know, they're so young in this scene. But even being so young, Katie, they're in a fight, her and Stassi, but she shows up. She brings wine.
She brings wine.
She wants to just communicate. Let's talk. We're friends. Like, I appreciated how she handled it. I wrote down this was a very beautiful, emotional friend scene. Yeah.
Are they still friends?
So actually, I just listened to Katie Maloney went on the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, and she says that she saw online that a lot of people think that they're not friends anymore. They are. It just seems like they're not as good of friends as they used to be.
Oh, I think I saw this because they're in different parts of life.
She was, and yes.
Which is so fair.
So fair. I mean, Stassi has 2 kids and is married and is doing a podcast and whatever. And Katie is just so different.
Yeah.
And it is hard to maintain those friendships.
It's hard to maintain friendships, period, once you start a family. But especially in LA, again, everyone's so far apart. You have to make really concerted efforts to see people even once every 3 months.
They'll always be in each other's lives, but maybe not best friends.
They'll always, I feel like they have the type of relationship, and this is what I actually had like prerequisites for Bridesmaids. That's like, even if we don't see each other all the time, when we do, it's as if no time has passed.
It's the best.
We could be like 6 years, 10 years even, like seeing everyone within a shorter amount of time. But those people that you just feel like you're coming home when you see them.
No, totally. Well, that's how you can tell someone's a true friend.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. I related to Katie in this scene a lot because I've been through this where you have a friend that you know the person that they're dating is not good for them.
Yeah.
And if you say something, they're mad at you.
It's a lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose situation. And I have lost friends because I have been too harsh.
Really?
Yeah. Well, there's like other reasons.
There's 2 sides to every story.
But I mean, I was in like high school. I was like super young. But I hated my best friend's boyfriend. He was a fucking douchebag. He was mean to her and made her cry all the time.
Well.
So I was like, fucking break up with this dude. Like, he sucks. But, and then you're too young to realize, like, sometimes these people need to make these choices for themselves. And that's exactly what's happening here.
And they're going to go through it themselves.
Right.
And they'll come on the other side of it eventually. It's just you got to bear with it.
I genuinely think Katie is trying to be a good friend, whereas how you were saying, I think Kristen just wants to like be in the drama, I guess.
I don't know.
Yeah.
She just wants to be in the comments.
So then we go back to Sir and Frank. Isn't it a shift?
This story is concerning.
You actually can't make this shit up.
I'm worried for Frank.
It's weird. First of all, they've told this story like 4 times too in this whole episode. If it was playing a drinking game of drink every time they say underpants,
underwear over his head,
I'd be fucked up.
If you didn't see this for whatever reason, Frank isn't on his shift, and so they have the bartender explain why, and it's apparently because Frank was charging people double for their drinks, and they got upset. And Frank essentially said, fuck you, you peasant. Go back to your ugly girlfriend before I embarrass you in front of her by pulling underwear over your head. And then he got beer thrown in his face.
And he also called him a nerd.
And then, nerd!
He's a fucking bully.
Yeah.
What I loved about this scene is that is the one and only time we ever even see this bartender that tells this story.
Has one purpose and one purpose.
And I feel like he should have gotten an Emmy for his work.
He shined.
I feel like he was like, I wrote that. He was like, this is my time to shine. So they were like, Joey, what happened? And he's like, well, Frank was at the bar, and he tells this story like he was practicing in front of the mirror.
Yeah, you know that he was like, oh man, I get to be in the show.
Yeah. This is my time.
The show?
Mom, my episode's airing tonight. Totally.
It is so.
So then a little bit later on, Frank gets called into a meeting with Lisa that he claims he has no idea what it could possibly be about. Does he have amnesia?
Do you think Frank today looks back on these scenes and cringes?
No, I think
You
to
think
this
he's
day,
this-
he doesn't think he's done anything wrong. I think to this day, he still believes, and I quote, Frank 1, Vanderpump 0. That is what he said this episode.
Which is like gaslighting his own brain into thinking that that's actually how this played out.
Lisa reveals at the top of this scene that he had previously had an incident with Kyle Richards.
I wrote that down too.
What do you think that was?
I'm sure he was just a douche to Kyle.
All that she said was it was an incident and it was inappropriate. Probably a douche to Kyle.
Well, inappropriate does make me wonder. Like, did he try to get her number?
Yeah.
Or did I don't know,
I
hit on her?
don't think Lisa would care about that, though.
Yeah, no, that's just flirtation.
Well, and speaking of, this brought something else to my attention where Lisa Vanderpump puts up with a lot.
Yeah.
Just 2 fucking scenes ago, she didn't even suspend Jackson Laura-Leigh for fucking in the bathroom of Sir.
Yep.
Yet this incident caused Frank to get fired.
I do think there was room for Frank to not get fired, though. I think this scene, if I were to rate scenes of Lisa on genuine to not genuine, she seemed pissed.
Yeah.
And she seemed pissed how he was talking to her. And she was getting more riled up and more riled up and more riled up. I think had he admitted it, had he apologized, it would have been a different story.
You're probably right. You are probably right.
But I think he just was a dick.
And I think that he probably was just always a dick. Like she said, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. And it now we're starting to see everybody really does hate Frank. And he really doesn't have any redeeming qualities because not only is he like a douche, but he's also like a cocky asshole.
Yeah. I put so cocky.
Yes. Whereas
so cocky.
Jax is a douche, but I could see how he could be a lovable douche.
Yeah. He's like a comedy of errors douche.
Yeah, he's like a whoopsie, sorry.
Like, slept with her. Yikes.
Like, I don't know. I don't agree with it, but I understand they're being.
He has the word is charisma. Jax has charisma.
Yeah.
Frank Jax 1, Frank 0 on charisma.
That is what it is. And then Frank walks outside to Stassi and he reveals to her he got fired. And Stassi's basically just like, wait, what? Because I feel like she's like, I need a boyfriend on this show. And now you're off of this show and I don't have a boyfriend that's on the show.
Oh, I don't think she thinks that. I think she's thinking, holy shit, I'm meeting my parents with him right now.
And now he is essentially the
and
same as
they gave her
Jax.
such a hard time that like she
Yeah.
was with an unemployed loser. And now there's this guy coming up that just got fired literally right beforehand.
Yeah.
So I think she was, because she's going to get a boyfriend no matter what. She got a boyfriend in 2 seconds.
That's true.
That.
And she stayed with Frank post the show.
Yeah.
So that's fair. So then we go to the Huntley, and this is where they meet Stassi's parents and stuff. I was just there.
I love the penthouse.
It's quite nice.
The view is really nice.
I mean, it's an amazing view.
Pro tip, if you're in LA and like you're having a trouble finding a good reservation for like a Friday, Saturday night, it's usually not that packed.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, we went there. The food was decent. Like, drinks were great.
It doesn't
Drinks were
matter.
great.
The view is going to be amazing.
It actually has their best view at that restaurant is in the handicap stall bathroom. Like in the bathroom in the handicap stall. Because there's a window.
That's beautiful.
And my mom came out of the bathroom and she goes, never have I sat on a toilet and had a better fucking view. You literally have an ocean view while you sit on the toilet.
People are like lining up to use the bathroom.
I'm like, why is everyone waiting for the handicap stall? There's like people in wheelchairs waiting to get in. Like, what's happening?
Fun fact, Kyle and I went there when we went engagement ring shopping.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So they meet up with Stassi's parents, which I actually think I'm a little confused by like the dynamic of Stassi's parents. I think these are her birth parents, but I don't think they are together.
In this episode?
Yeah, I think that they have been divorced.
Okay,
but
was it my sixth sense that I was like, I don't think they're together, but they must be.
Yeah,
I wrote that down. I was like, are they still together? Question mark.
Yeah, I think that I know that that's her mom, obviously. Pretty sure that's her dad. But her mom, like Stassi has half siblings from her mom. I think she had a stepdad for a really long time. Because later on, she talks about it. This is the only time we see the two of them together. But I guess it understands if it's like your first season on a TV show and you want to do like a lunch with your parents. Like, I almost feel like they could have not have seen each other for 20 fucking years, but they wanted to be on TV, so they're like, we'll deal with it for today.
And it probably explains why they're hammered, too.
Yes, hammered.
Like, just like
hammered.
They've been going at it since noon.
They bought a bottle of vodka for breakfast.
That's so fun.
Is it?
I mean, it's toxic and like crazy, but it's super fun.
They seemed cool about it.
Yeah. Only toxic. I'm only saying that because like they were like pseudo blackout to meet Stassi's boyfriend.
Yeah. And even Stassi was like, thank God they were fucked up or else it wouldn't have gone as well.
No, it would not have gone as well because they took it so well.
Yeah.
The Stassi's dad was just beside himself, thought it was so funny that Frank threatened to like, what's it called?
Pull his underwear over his pants?
There's a name for it.
Oh, like they called it like not like an atomic wedgie, but they called it like a melvin or something.
Melvin. Yes, that's what it's called.
I had never, have you heard of that before?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, because do you remember on the challenge? Wait, no, it was Real World, where I think it was Brad.
It was the challenge. I just watched
Melvin,
that season.
and he gets it pulled over his head.
Yeah, and he flips out.
And then he gets into a big argument.
I did just watch that. Wow, I'm literally on that season right now. I went back to watch the earlier season.
And he gets
yeah, he's crazy. So then Frank is like bragging to Stassi's parents about like what he did, like you said, and they're loving it. They're absolutely eating it up. But then I feel like he gets a little too cocky and then starts like talking shit on Stassi to her parents.
I was so uncomfortable.
It was weird.
In my couch.
But they also were kind of enjoying it.
I feel like they were until they weren't. And they're like, what? I mean, he kept going.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Like, he was not reading the room of like, no one else is saying anything.
Yeah, but then they were like, well, yeah, I mean, she was a little homely back then. She was chubby. She was pale.
Well, and that's Stassi's mom. Like, she's always been a little unmomly.
It's almost like she's a little... No, I think she's a little jealous.
Yeah, it's always been like a competition between them.
Yeah.
Because she is a young, beautiful woman, too. Mm-hmm. But it's always felt like there was a little something back and forth.
Totally.
Between the two. That wasn't like completely mom-daughter.
God, yes. I mean, we see it in the later seasons as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's
a bit much.
Yep.
Also, this is like a legendary part of this scene that I've just seen in clips. But Stassi's dad going, you're not a Democrat, are you?
I loved so hard. I was like, oh my God, this is so like, regardless of what anyone is, like that is such a heavy question. And like to just assume that he's in California.
But then Frank literally is almost offended that he asked. He's like, oh, no. Yeah. And then Stassi's dad's like, oh, thank God. Granted, this was a different time. It was 2013. Like, it is what it is. But definitely did not age well, for sure.
I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Frank just lied just then. Just be like, oh, no. Like, would have said no matter what.
Look, I think you can be whatever you want to be, but I have no problem believing that Frank is a Republican. And I'll just leave it at that.
That's actually very true.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that too. And the other part of the scene, which I totally forgot that's legendary, of Stassi getting a chin implant.
Oh, yeah. I always am just making sure I'm
Yeah, me too. Holy shit.
You know, I've seen different, like, for some reason my Instagram, like, fucking Discover page is always, like, before and after plastic surgeries. I guess because I just keep clicking because it is interesting.
Well, the algorithm will get you.
The chin implant really can make a difference.
It can and did.
And it did.
It changed her life.
I've even seen chin filler, too. People get, like
I've gotten some filler like on the side of the chin. Mm-hmm. And I even have like a big chin as it is. But like there's just like certain things.
You know what? I guess you're right.
When you you know what my family calls it? It's the Crockett chin.
It always comes back to Davy Crockett. It always comes back. Carolyn, will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be this year.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be next year. But one of these days, can you go as Davy Crockett for Halloween?
Oh, absolutely. That's actually
like the
very
raccoon hat.
Thing to do.
Yeah.
Get the coon hat and all that stuff. Yeah.
For people to say like, oh, are you Davy Crockett? And you'd be like, yes, I'm related to him. Like, that is such a fucking flex.
I'm not flexing, but like, I am.
You're flexing.
I'm flexing.
Anyways.
The chin implant changed her fucking life. It's like they said on the Kardashians when Kylie got her lips filled. Kim was like, it changed her life.
Well, it kind of did.
It really did.
Yeah.
I think it really did for Stassi too. It's like a whole new world was open to her that she had no idea existed.
Yeah.
It's a pretty girl world.
Yeah.
And she's just now living in it.
It is interesting because they showed a lot of old photos of Stassi, which obviously we've all seen before.
Yeah.
But her then compared to her now as in this episode, is night and day. It's two different people. Current days, 2013, current day Stassi would have bullied the fuck out of that
I was
Stassi.
shocked she was like a goth in high school.
Yeah.
She makes it seem, I mean, she opens the show with, I went to an all-girls private high school in Louisiana, as if she were the boss of that fucking school.
Yeah, well, think about it. Think about all the crazy, murderous things she says.
God, I love it.
Like, I'll drag your bodies through
Yeah.
the city,
Oh,
the
yes.
streets of West LA. And her saying that as 2013 Stassi, blonde, pretty, whatever, it's kind of like, oh, Stassi. But if this was 2008 Stassi, where she's pale, black haired, and doesn't have a chin, people would be like, put this woman on a fucking watch. Like, put her on a list
I would
somewhere.
have called her parents immediately.
Like, yeah, like she would go to juvie.
Yeah. she would be sent to the guidance counselor frequently.
Blondes literally have more fun because you can do whatever the fuck you want if you're blonde or
Yeah.
pretty. And this just proves
This
it.
just proves it. I love it. If it makes her more confident, good for fucking her.
Hell yeah.
She deserves to feel as ever good as she wants to feel.
So then we go to Sir, and Ken unveils the weird old pink card that they still have outside of Sir.
Okay, well, that was gonna. The only thing I was just gonna ask.
Sorry, I took your question from you.
I was just gonna ask, where the fuck is that car now?
Literally still parked outside of Sir.
Is it really?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Man.
I could be wrong, but I feel like I recently saw it
And
there.
if it's not, I wonder how much they pay for it to just be parked out there.
I feel like they probably park it out there during the day and then move it at night.
How many times do you think it's actually been on a legitimate drive? That one time we saw.
Any time they drive it on the show is
On
probably
the show is the
it's
only
been
time
driven,
that engine's been revved up. Okay, that's all I have.
Maybe they keep it parked in the alley
Oh my god, in the back alley.
because that literally is a parking lot.
Oh god, it's so true.
After that, we go to this brunch with Tom, Katie, and Kristen. And Katie and Kristen are like, I think it's actually Katie in a talking head says, now that Jax and Stassi broke up, we can never hang out the six of us. It's just the four of us. I'm like, you can still invite Jax if you want.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, I do feel like they're in this, like, world of delusion of, like, we can only hang if it's triple dates.
Well, I do think there's some friendship loyalty business going on, even though they weren't necessarily the most loyal to Stassi. I do think there may be a line that they aren't willing to cross.
Yeah.
Maybe that's giving them the big benefit of the doubt, but I'm gonna do it because I'm a happy person.
Yeah, no, that's fair. In this scene, they all learn that Frank got fired.
Yep.
Katie can't contain her excitement.
Coincidentally, they just got a phone call while they were filming.
Okay, I was a little confused by that phone call too, because was Kristen not talking to Jax on speakerphone at the table?
Yeah.
And then put the phone down and told everyone, and they were like, I'm like, did you not hear? Maybe they
So it
couldn't
must
hear.
have been ADR. So they must have
Oh.
put that in as if it were speakerphone, and then
Or maybe they genuinely couldn't
Couldn't
hear,
hear.
and her mic just picked it up really well.
Yeah.
Fair. This whole episode was just like an episode of gossip. Like, did you hear? Did you hear?
Yeah,
Did you hear?
yeah.
And I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
So we end this episode at Stassi's house where Frank and Stassi are arguing, and Frank says the most comical thing I've ever heard in my entire goddamn motherfucking short life, that he made the decision to be fired. I think if you want to make a decision to be fired, that's called quitting.
But he even backs it up, and Stassi's like, no, you didn't. She fired you on the spot. He's like, no, well, I said that thing those days earlier to get fired.
Right.
You did not.
Frank 1, Vanderpump 0.
Yeah, no, you're not a mastermind, Frank.
I also understand, like, that is a thing. People, like, trying to get fired if they work for,
Right.
like, big corporations so they can get, like, severance.
Yep.
You're a bartender.
Yeah.
When you're fired, you're done.
That's
There's no
so
severance coming to
true.
you.
That's so true.
You wanting to get fired is just the bitch ass way of quitting your job.
You just quit the job.
But you're too much of a bitch to quit your job.
You just quit the job. I think because he needs the job.
Yeah, he needs the job.
Like, he's a bartender for a reason.
Yeah.
He's not just doing it because he loves drinks. Like, I don't know.
No, you're right. No, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. Although he sold the most drinks of any bartender at Sir. I've seen the numbers. That's what he said.
Audacity. You know he would have gone straight on that sheet had I allowed him to be there.
I don't think that that's false, but it's like you don't have to brag to Lisa about how good of a bartender you are. That's not the conversation that's happening right
And
now.
how much more? I need to see the numbers here because I wouldn't be surprised if it was like he averages the most by a little bit.
He's not necessarily charming.
No!
He is the type of bartender that you wait at the bar for 20 fucking minutes with your card out, and then he finally gets to you and like, here, let's reenact. Here's your card. You know how people like hold their card at the bar? And this is him.
I'm holding out the card. She's bartending.
What do you want?
Can I have 2 vodka sodas?
Yeah. Like that's him. Never makes eye contact, gets annoyed with you, doesn't want to fucking talk to you. And it's like, where do you get off? Where do you get off? You know what I'm talking about though?
And maybe he has the most sales because he's just been charging people double all this time.
Actually, you're literally bragging about having the most sales in the same conversation that your boss is accusing you of overselling drinks.
Also, like, I wonder how many times that was done to us that we just didn't realize.
Well, you know what I did say?
What?
Because they're complaining about $30 for a double martini. I'm like, that's how much a martini is these days.
These days, inflation, my God. Do you know how much it is to get a cheeseburger at McDonald's?
That is so crazy you said that.
Did you go today?
We went this weekend, and I haven't been to McDonald's in so long. And Dan was like, that was just $20 fucking dollars.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes!
It was so expensive.
Kyle and I just got Chick-fil-A, and we somehow spent $50.
Carolyn.
Okay, it wasn't just for us. We were getting things for the group. Like, it was a group thing.
But fast food should be...
But it was still just 2 things of nuggets, 2 sandwiches, and a milkshake.
Shut the fuck up.
$50.
Inflation.
And just like cogs, you know? That's cost of goods sold.
I didn't know what that meant.
It's just crazy these days.
What's cost of goods sold? What's that mean?
That's how much it takes to like, it's basically our economy is just getting out of hand.
Go put it on the list. It's getting out of hand.
Cogs bad.
Stassi has 26, Jax has 50, and the economy has 1 point.
The economy has so many points. If it were on this list, it would be close to the top. It'd be in between Stassi and Jax.
You know what? You're absolutely right.
And then this fight gets heated. Okay, we're in the part of the argument where both people are getting riled up. Voices are getting a little bit elevated, and we're starting to stand up to leave. And Frank bolts out the door, and Stassi follows. And then what she says is truly shocking, because she does call him bipolar.
I do feel like, in my opinion, bipolar was a phrase that we used to throw around a lot when we were younger.
I will say it hasn't aged well. Like we're more informed now than we were then.
I feel like I used to say that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like whenever someone would be moody, I'd be like, you're like bipolar.
It's like in the 90s when this was horrible, but people would say gay all the time.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Horrible. But
and now it's like you should not just
don't do
say
that.
things like that. Well, this episode, and I said this in the beginning, it really is where you see Frank's true colors. I totally understand Katie and Kristen for hating this guy's fucking guts. And Stassi is obviously a bitch.
That's a good point. In hindsight, if I saw my friend dating that guy, the guy that we all know is that guy,
Right.
I'd be like, fuck that guy.
Right, and it took us, 2 episodes to learn that he actually sucks.
It took us about 10 minutes of footage.
They worked with him, they knew it, so I do understand them now a bit more of like, you're dating Frank. And Stassi is obviously a bitch, but she does not deserve the way that he is talking to her.
No one deserves that.
Yeah.
It's almost triggering. The fight is triggering.
Yeah.
To like young 20s fights. Although he's probably in his 30s by that point.
You know, I actually have no idea how old Frank is.
Let's find out.
I don't know if there's any information about him.
AI should surely pick this up. AI picked it up. Frank Hurley? I don't know how to pronounce it. An actor who appeared in the first season of Vanderpump Rules.
An actor.
And is known for his roles in... He was in Whiplash? He must have been just a bi...
Carolyn, that cannot be.
He must have just been a cameo or something.
Okay, wait, can I just say something really fast?
Yeah.
While I'm looking up Frank, because we're trying to figure out his age, I just typed in Frank Vander, because I was typing Vander. There is a former CEO, and his name is Frank Vandersloot.
Does it have like the 2 dots above the
No,
U?
but it's Vander. It's all Vandersloot is one word, but the S is capital and the V is capital. Sorry.
That's so sick. This is the funniest IMDb I've ever seen, which is saying a lot because mine has the dumbest shit on it. But he has Whiplash and Vanderpump Rules.
What the fuck?
And that's it.
You're right. I see it.
That's it.
I think it's because he gave us Whiplash.
Honestly, great movie. I watched that recently with
I love
Kyle.
that movie.
Yeah. Okay, but I still don't know how old he is. Whatever. Old enough to not be a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can't find it. I agree. A part of this that I noticed was, so they go outside and they have this big fight on the sidewalk. Did you notice that Frank didn't have a mic on anymore?
Okay, I was going to ask you how you thought this went down. Because did you also notice that they were filming from across the street? Which makes me think that they were packing up to go and they were like, oh, well, shit, this is happening. So they turned around to capture it, but they had two angles. So they went across the street and then they had one closer up.
Good fucking call, dude.
I really paid attention to this. So I was like, but she still had her mic on.
I wonder if they had their little conversation inside. And then the conversation was probably over and Frank probably looked at the crew and was like, I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Started taking off his mic. Stassi probably just left her on. This is how I would assume it happened. And Frank left. Mm-hmm. They probably thought that was that. She probably chased him outside.
Yeah.
And was pissed off.
That's what I was assuming.
And then, so I think that maybe everyone else thought it was the end of the scene, but then Stassi, and I think even maybe Stassi, I truly believe she wasn't doing it for the cameras. I truly believe she was just so pissed off that she was like, you don't get to walk away from me.
No, that's what I'm saying this fight was triggering because it was so realistic.
Yeah.
It was such a real fight.
Did it not just happen outside of Mixology with Stassi and Jax where they like chase each other down the fucking thing and she's like, we're not fucking done here. And then they fight in the parking lot again.
I'm having deja vu.
Jax loves to fuck in bathrooms. Stassi loves to fight outside.
It's true.
Where you park your car.
Where you park your car. Done and done. But it's also a sign that it was like haphazard because they didn't even have like a stabilizer. Like the camera was shaking.
Yeah, I love it. I love reality TV like that.
When you just catch those moments are the best ones.
And then the one of the final like frames that we see is Stassi sitting outside on the curb smoking a cig.
They finally showed her. I feel like they haven't showed anyone smoking.
Yeah.
And I feel like it feels almost like a legal thing. Because they talk about it all the time. Can I smoke? I'm going to go smoke. In real life, they do. If you've ever been around smokers, that's just like, it's part of their daily ritual. So they're talking about it a lot. It's an excuse to go outside, an excuse to talk to people. But on the show, we never talk about smoking.
Yeah.
And still in this scene, we did not talk about smoking. We barely saw her cigarette. But it was enough for us to know she was smoking.
Oh, yeah.
But it still was not blatant.
And you know what? I'm not a smoker. I would have had a cig after that, too.
When I was in high school, I hope my mom listens to this so she'll finally fucking believe me. My friend...
Linda, listen.
Mom, listen to this. So my friend and I were like, the cool thing in high school, this is so gross, but was to have like pink Camels. To have the pink
they
box
had a pink
of Camels.
I didn't know that
There's like a hot pink girly Camels. We didn't smoke.
Girly Camels.
We didn't smoke, but we just wanted to have them in our bag to look fucking cool.
Totally get it.
My mom found them and freaked the fuck out. And she's like, you're not going to use your acting to get out of this one, Carolyn. I was like, I swear to God, I don't smoke these, but isn't it cool that I have them?
How embarrassing is it that your mom thinks you... It's almost less embarrassing or less bad to just be like, yeah, I was smoking cigs.
I know.
But it's so embarrassing to be like, Mom, you actually don't get it. We just want them to look cool.
It was just fun to buy them. To be like, ask for them.
It's
and
like
to get them.
It's like wearing a temporary tattoo, playing it off like it's real.
Yes,
yeah. No.
Exactly what happened.
Or like, God, I remember when I was younger, me and my little bestie, we would sit in my basement and we would roll up pieces of lined paper and light it and smoke it because we just wanted to see.
But you just like put it in your mouth and
we like fucking inhaled it.
Oh, just paper?
Yeah, it was bad. But because we wanted to see what the smoke looked like coming
out.
I'm
so curious what's going to happen to you.
Well,
here we go.
Only time will tell. The doctor's going to be like, we've never seen this type of cancer before.
What's happening?
Have you ever like inhaled lined paper? It was also yellow lined paper.
Shut up.
Yeah.
From like school days?
Yeah.
That's really
It
fun.
was like one of those notepads and we would just to see what it looked like to the smoke and we'd like look in the mirror and like
okay,
it's so dumb.
Another story. Rachel and I were out at some random Mr. Furley's, which might make an appearance on the show or some other show. I forget. But we were in like Beverly Grove. And there's this like photographer guy and he's like, I'm a photographer. And he was like trying to hit on us. And I was like, I'm married. I'm wing womaning. But do you want to take my picture? And he was like, yes. And he just gave me a lit cigarette and was like, hold this. So I did this. I went out to the middle of the street. I was in heels. I was like crouching down with this cigarette.
That's sick.
I got all these pictures. Dude, wherever you are,
You've never seen him?
I've never seen him. I'm like, bro, I want to see what I looked like.
Do you know anything about him?
Yes, I have his Instagram.
Okay, well, you just haven't looked hard enough.
I figured it out. Well, he hasn't posted me, and I was like, they can't be that good.
Just ask him.
But he also does like weird light stuff, so I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah,
the
I
things
would
that
want
happen
that.
in LA.
God, not to like really go off topic, but that just reminds me of like, remember it was very like 2010s going out to bars and there was always a photographer at the bar.
No.
Like, did you ever do that?
No.
Okay, I was a bit
What
of
are
an
you talking
indie
about?
sleaze girl where like
Indie sleaze girl?
have you not heard of indie sleaze?
No.
Do I have to literally teach you everything that's going on in
Yes,
pop culture?
I'm an old woman.
So indie sleaze is like an era.
I feel like I might have been this.
You probably were. It was like, God, now I'm gonna like butcher. There's a whole fucking Instagram about it, but it's very like
I mean, I loved indie
listening
music.
to like
Jack White.
Yeah, like that type, or like I'm trying to think of like a
My
good,
Morning Jacket.
Like Alexa Chung was like indie sleaze
Okay,
kind of, like you know who I'm
okay.
talking
Yep,
about.
yep.
Just the fits and what you listen to and going out, or like literally probably what you did, sitting on a curb with your legs up
Yes,
in the air,
okay,
smoking
okay,
a
I see it.
wearing like a top hat,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
like with
something
your
ironic.
with the red lips, like it was just Tumblr, very Tumblr.
Yes. I was just thinking that. I was like, is that a weird thing to say?
No.
It feels like the internet, like a MySpace picture.
No, very Tumblr era. Yes, exactly. Very MySpace. And I just remember we would always go to these like indie nights at bars where they would just play like MGMT and LCD Sound System and like those
Which
types
is
of
crazy
bands.
that was indie.
Right. It should just be the only music they ever play at
Ever,
any bar
ever.
ever. But and there was always a photographer and they always had like fun names. Like there was one, I think this was in Philly, called Fame Lust. And then there was one in LA called Say Cheese and Die. Like there was like a lot, and like they would take your picture and give you their card, and they just had Facebooks. This was like really before Instagram, where they would have Facebook albums and it would be like The Barbary 6/1/2013.
Oh, no, I know exactly what you're
and you
talking
go
about.
through and they'd be overexposed photos of you just like drinking a PBR at the
I know
bar.
exactly. I could just pull you up on my Instagram and did that.
Yes.
Dance Yourself Clean would have photographers.
Oh yeah, done. We've been there together before.
Yeah,
Duh. The Dance Yourself Clean photographer is
No,
good.
but these are like not like, but these are like more clubs. As I feel
Yeah.
like with the photographers, no?
Well, they're like clubs, but not clubs because it's not like bottle service
Right.
or like promoters.
But it was very indie in that sense. It was just like, come fucking dance.
Yeah, we have lost dancing.
Where we have lost track of this podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
We have really.
But the early 2010s shit, or like the 2010s that we see in this episode, I'm like so nostalgic of
I
everything.
know.
And
All
when
the
I'm watching
outfits
this,
are so good.
yeah.
And it's also just like, oh my god, I wish we were friends. Not me and you. Well, I do wish me and you.
You want to
were
be friends with Kristen Doty in 2013?
Kinda. You have to have a toxic friendship.
By the way, Kristen Doty, indie sleaze.
Yes.
Now you're getting, you know what I'm saying?
I understand. I understand completely what indie sleaze is.
Yeah.
I wasn't indie sleaze. I was more prep than I would. I would like to think I'm indie sleaze, but I'm not. I wasn't.
You had a hint of it for
I
sure.
definitely had a hint of it, but I also just love
You're from
being
Tennessee.
basic shit.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's what you're surrounded by.
Still love pearls sometimes. Like it's weird.
Pearls are cool.
Well, now they are for guys.
You know what? You're right.
It's appropriation. It's straight up appropriation.
Facts. On that note,
On that note,
get us to the sheet, bitch.
oh my god, the sheet. Well, now I have to add Kristen. 1 second.
I mean, you don't have to add that if you disagree with it.
no, but I kind of agree with it. This episode was so easy.
This was a pretty easy one.
Jax has sex with Laura-Leigh in the Sir bathroom. I give that a 1.
Interesting.
Because the next was Jax has sex with Laura-Leigh in random employee bathroom. And I either give that a 3 and give Sir a 1. I mean, Sir a 2. Or I give this a 2 and Sir a 1. But 3 seems a lot.
What's 3 again?
3 is This is literally absurd.
Oh, and 2 is this is getting out of hand.
Yeah.
I concur with you. It's 1 and 2. Then
One
you
is,
have,
this is ridiculous.
and then it's getting out of hand. 100% agree with you.
Okay. I had to think about it though.
No, I needed that clarity. You're right.
Kristen tattles on Stassi eating salad before her shift. I'm going to give her a 1
Yeah,
for that.
bitch. Fucking snitch.
And then Jax admits he lied about having sex in the SUR bathroom. We caught him in a lie. I'm giving him a 1.
Fair.
Stassi calls Frank bipolar. Just because we're woke, we're going to give this a 2. Should I give it a 1? I was scared to give it a 1 because a lot of people would be like, you are so rude about mental health.
Keep it as a 2. But he deserved every name that I think came out of her mouth.
That's true.
Maybe not every name. Frank has done so many bad things this episode that Stassi is guilty by association.
Well, that was the thing. Frank did so much. Laura-Leigh did some stuff. Yeah, so let's see. And the total, I haven't even added these up because there's like nothing. Stassi has 2. Jax has 4. Kristen has 1. So in that, let's see, 2, 4, 1. So overall, Stassi has 59. I'm doing this in my head. It's so hard to add
literally,
1.
you could say anything and we would believe you.
Jax, I said had 4. So Jax is at 48, catching up. And then Kristen is now at 25. Sheena at 12, Sandoval 10, Schwartz 9, Katie 11.
Every time you read this to me, I'm like, Kristen is going to your line graph is going to go through the fucking roof.
I posted on TikTok today.
I saw,
and
yeah.
I was like, I think Kristen's gonna catch up here too.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
think she's gonna surpass Jax. Who do you think is gonna end the winner actually?
I think Kristen might surpass Jax.
You think so?
Yeah.
But the cheating stuff isn't this season. It's next
not-
season.
Oh, you mean this season?
Yeah, I think each season should like have a winner. And then we'll have an overall winner too.
Jax and Stassi, I think, will be close.
Yeah. It's gonna be close. I think Jax will surpass Stassi.
I think Stassi's
Laura-Leigh
done all.
stuff?
Yeah, I think yeah, duh.
Like-
I think Stassi has done her bad things already.
Yeah.
And she's on an upward trajectory of redemption.
Yeah.
Jax is about to go downhill.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. For reasons that we will see next week.
Yeah. Damn, that was like, you know what? I feel like we did pretty good here.
That was super fun.
We're still.
And I'm still recording.
I'm still recording too.
Recording. What a travesty that
I'm going to give a shout out to our editor, Rachel Field, because she definitely has her work cut out for her this episode. Between this and our weekly gab, it was a bit all over the place.
We were all over the place, but I had a great time.
Oh my God, it was so fun.
It was so fun.
And now we're going to end this and then do a TikTok live.
We're gonna go on live.
Yeah, we can do it on mine to direct people to hype you up.
Oh, that's so great.
What do you- I
yeah,
think we
I
should.
need a little help on TikTok.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Also, to our TikTok, because we made one.
We made a TikTok, everyone.
We just decided, fuck it. Let's just put it all. Let's just post.
Let's
us.
just post clips. Like, yeah. So
It
I mean,
doesn't matter.
so now we're on TikTok as Girls Unscripted.
Yeah, it's not that serious. It's fun.
Yeah, just something to have on there. But as always, thank you for listening. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Again, we're that many closer to reaching 1,000. So every subscription helps. Thank you, please. Thanks.
It really, really does. All right. Well, on that note, thanks for watching.
We appreciate you. We love you. And good night.
Bye.